Do you sometimes feel pressure to please everybody at the cost of your own well-being? If so, then Camilla's story is just for you. The Rose and the Four Agreements. Story time with Delia and Jade Assistant AI. Once there was a woman named Camilla who felt invisible in her world. No matter how hard she tried, she could never make everyone happy. Some people praised her kindness, but others criticized her for being too nice. Some loved her bold ideas, while others dismissed her as too much. Camilla began to question herself, thinking, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I be enough for everyone?" One quiet afternoon, Camilla went for a walk in a nearby garden. She stopped in front of a single rose. Its petals were open, vibrant, and proud, glowing in the golden sunlight. She leaned in to smell its fragrance, and for a moment she felt calm. But as she stood there, a conversation nearby caught her attention. A woman walked past and said, "Look at that rose, it's so beautiful." A man behind her muttered, "I don't like roses, too many thorns. Lilies are better." Camilla blinked, realizing something. The rose didn't change. It just stood there, just as beautiful and vibrant as before, unaffected by their opinions. Camilla sat down on a nearby bench and stared at the rose. Suddenly, the lessons from a book she'd read years ago, Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, came rushing back to her. 1. Be impeccable with your word. The rose didn't apologize for blooming. It didn't try to explain its beauty or hide its thorns. It simply existed in its truth. 2. Don't take anything personally. Some people loved the rose and others didn't, but none of their opinions had anything to do with the rose itself. The rose wasn't swayed by their love or dislike. It bloomed because that was its nature. 3. Don't make assumptions. The rose didn't assume that everyone would understand its beauty or purpose. It didn't seek validation from those who didn't appreciate it. 4. Always do your best. The rose gave its all to bloom fully, standing tall and proud, no matter who walked by or what they thought. Camilla took a deep breath, feeling a wave of clarity. She realized she had spent her life like a rose trying to change its petals, remove its thorns, or hide its scent, hoping to be liked by everyone. But the rose in the garden reminded her of a simple truth. I can't control what others think of me. All I can do is bloom as my true self. From that moment on, Camilla decided to live her life like the rose, guided by the Four Agreements. She spoke kindly to herself, no longer letting negative self-talk take root. She refused to take others' opinions personally, knowing they reflected their own preferences, not her worth. She stopped assuming people's silence or criticism meant she wasn't enough. And she gave her best every day, trusting that her bloom was enough, regardless of who noticed. The rose reminded Camilla, and all of us, that life is not about pleasing everyone. It's about living authentically, blooming fully, and letting go of what we can't control. Some will love you, some will criticize you, and some won't notice you at all. But like the rose, your job is simply to bloom. By living in alignment with the Four Agreements, Camilla found peace in her heart and joy in her life. She no longer lived for others' approval. She lived to embrace her own beauty. If Camilla's story resonated with you, drop a rose in the comments.